Hey everyone, this is Uthris and welcome back to Medieval Engineers. We're going to go ahead and do a quick once over of the Crafters Guild complex. The final building ended up being a kiln house and pottery house. It's a pretty wide open kind of courtyard thing with the guild hall, of course, blacksmith with a bloomery and forge area, our storehouse, and our woodworkers shop. This is the new structure. This is the kiln house. This is the room where actual, like, all the pottery would be made and spun and things like that. I don't really have much detail to put in here because it would just be tables, shelves, and pottery wheels if we had any. Back here, this is the kiln yard, and it's mainly a dry place. This is a dry room where you would put your pottery once it's kind of formed to dry and turn into greenware. And then once it's greenware, a fully dried piece of clay, you'll pull it out and then fire it in one of these side kilns. And then once that's done, you have a piece of pottery. It's a really wide open space because it would be pretty toxic with the whole glazes and things like that. And then also you could store unmixed clay out here, and yeah, it's just fairly open to get really nice airflow to allow pots to dry quickly. So yeah, that's about all I can say about that structure. It was a pretty quick little thing to throw together. I'm okay with having a couple more chimneys. It makes the whole area look just a little bit industrial, which is pretty cool. Because like that new addition. And I will be updating the save to the workshop today. So if you guys are following along, you can update. We also, in my live stream last week, I was working on these gears, and then off camera, I was really trying to get something to work in terms of size and scope. So we have a really small minute hand and a hour hand right now. This is kind of the best setup I could get working with using gears. The mod that I have doesn't really have the specific gear that you need to try and combine both the minute and hour hand into a single shaft. So I had to offset them like this, and it was pretty much the only thing I could think of to get it to work. So, hey, there's that. It spins fairly smooth, and it's fairly compact. It takes up a 3x3 sort of area. You can easily put this on top of a major town hall structure. Obviously powered by a rotor. And then there's a bunch of gear changes here. I didn't actually time this out. The clock, of course, it doesn't really run perfectly. It's off. It's out of sync. But that's not a big deal. I was just really, this is my first time trying to build anything like this. And it was pretty challenging to even just to get everything spinning and fit together in this size. It's surrounded by platforms, so you can go up here. You can easily change out gears if they get damaged. You can also turn on and off the mechanism from this side. And then down here you can see the lower gears and swap out to new ones if needed. So that's a neat little clock tower. This would go on top of some type of major town hall or centerpiece. I didn't build a base for it, at least not yet. I don't know what I would want to do with this structure in general. Because generally, I would like to say, for me, the scale that I would like a clock tower to be would be this. This would be a good, realistic scale for the game size. To have a nice, slender clock tower that's nice and clean. This is just pretty bulky, but it is definitely effective. You can see it from pretty far away, at least the hour hand. And I also ended up copying it and dropping it once just to see what all would happen. This is kind of just the residual leftover bits. This episode, though, we're going to be building a new structure. It's going to be a nice little quick, hopefully. Whenever I say quick, it never ends up being so. But it is going to be not a farmhouse. It's a barn and stable combination. So I think that'll be a pretty cool thing to do. I just need to remember my controls. I haven't played this in a little while. I'm really waiting for survival. Survival for me will definitely make this game a lot more popular and a lot more interesting. I've been playing a lot of Ark and just like going through the grind. It is a grind to like build a lot of structures in those type of games, but it's very rewarding because once you get it done, and it's like it's multiplayer and everyone gets to see it. I mean, it's just a really good feeling to know that, hey, this looks really cool, and I farmed all this material to build it. Don't snap to voxel grid. So I'm just gonna expand our little plateau just a hair out more than it is now, just to make sure we have the room needed for what we're going to be doing. In fact, it'd be nice if I could get the foundation lower. This is kind of a high foundation, which isn't bad for that structure over there, but for the structure I'm building, since it's a stables and barn structure, I wanted to try and get it as low as possible. And so maybe we'll have to move everything a little bit. We'll build it over here. And the best way to get this measurement is to place your block, and you just raise the terrain up to match it to how high you want it. I think I want a very low foundation like that. We'll just go ahead and flatten out a quick little spot, like so. I'm not worried about how messy the terrain is in the save. It is solely just to build some cool buildings and give you guys ideas on what you could be doing for your own save, and give you the option to use it in your own save. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and come up with the shape that we want. And so it's going to be a bit of an L shape. Oh, too many mouse clicks in a row. Things like that can happen pretty easily, where it quickly builds off itself. So something like that would be pretty cool. And in fact, I'm gonna make this section an overhang. And the best way to do that is give myself some pillars so it doesn't look weird. And then throw up some arches in that shape, and then also some of these longer ones for this initial spot as well. And then we can decide on how big our stables need to be. Thinking something like that. just house a couple horses below the barn structure. And then I guess we go ahead and start working on the inside here. Something like that would be pretty cool. We need the double wide stone wall centerpiece for this. Okay. Not half bad. It's gonna be a 2-story structure. In fact, I'm going to change this up just a little bit more. We're going to try and mix some different block types in here. Best thing to do is get our 2 block doorway. These are always hard to find. Something like that. This will allow them to actually go upstairs into the main storage area. But what I wanted to do different was use this stone and wood. Oh, that's only wood. Where's the stone version? Here we go. Just to mix in a different feel. Something like, let's do the big windows. That might be interesting. I don't get to use these often. This block's a little weird because they basically scroll all of these into one block. So I have to use my mouse wheel a lot to kind of rotate them. It's not the most natural thing in the world, but it's okay. The frame back there. Same with here and here. Let's go ahead and drop a wooden porch like effect there. And then throw in some back windows. Wrong piece. I need the stone version. Can I rotate this? No, my free block rotation tool is broken, it seems. I don't know if the latest update kind of ruined parts of it or not. Okay, that ain't bad. And it is a lot of storage, so we're just going to be using a lot of walls here. And a whole lot of windows. And then at this point, where do I want the stairs? I guess this long section of plain wall would work pretty well. And then for the interior, we can just use normal stucco walls to make it look a little bit more clean on the inside. Where is my staircase? Where is my staircase? It's not on my bar. Never is. That's the roof. Why am I grabbing that? And then this by itself will be its own little storeroom, which will be pretty cool. If I had a normal wall to put that there. There we go. And this lower floor would be mainly horse effects and things for these little overhang stables that's going to be part of the building. And we're going on about 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and finish this off camera instead of rambling on here, and we'll get back and I'll give you kind of this final tour. Alright everyone, so this is pretty much the final little design for this barn storehouse with two bottom stables attached onto it. Easily you can see this to be outside of a city. You know, checking for people to come and go. They can store their wagons underneath there. It's almost a very good kind of trade depot exchange building. It is kind of missing a support though. I need to put that back. There we go. It is structurally sound, just like everything else, as always. And it is very open, plenty of storage room. I don't know how much storage room we're going to need in survival mode with chests and everything and how that's going to work, but you know, very open. First floor, this would be like desks and offices, so people can kind of check things in and out of the building. Lower floor, more specific for horses and things like that. A lot of just basic storage room down here. A very open second floor here with a loft area for even more storage. Not a whole lot of detail I can add to this beyond just actually putting clutter and things like that, but I feel like in a survival setting that would happen naturally, so this is just something to strive for in your own builds in the meantime. And you guys can, you know, add clutter and everything into your own save if that's something you want to do. Another fairly large open room. You can hang things from the ceiling. You know, you even build another loft area here if needed, and then a small add-on to this section here. Trying to mix up my block types as much as possible. Of course, we're using the stucco on one side, and then the cobble with wooden supports, and then just plain cobble here. It's a fairly large structure, definitely more suited for people with a large city or a large castle. Maybe, I mean, technically in a survival setting, if we're playing multiplayer, this could probably house almost everything a small group of people would need. From beds to storage to their horses to yeah, anything like that. You could even probably throw in a blacksmith attachment pretty easily for a survival setting. So, as always, thanks for watching. If you guys are enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you would like me to build next. You can suggest things like from high fantasy, even dark fantasy, to even real world structures or things you want to copy from films, things like that. And I'll see about getting to it, because I feel like I built pretty much all the standard structures by now between either Lothloria or this, and you know, it's just kind of starting to repeat and rehash and just get variants, which is fine, and you can get some cool variations, but I think we need to try and get a little bit more creative and build some cooler looking things from castles. I mean, I can build an island in the sky if that's something you guys do want. That has been suggested before. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.